One of the things about a book like Leviticus, which, let's face it, most Christians don't read on a regular basis because they think it's boring and it's just all these laws and things that seem from another time and another place, and how does this really apply to me? And you might feel that way when you turn, for example, to chapter 23, which is all about the sacred calendar of Israel and all the appointed festivals. And you may think, well, what does this have to do with me? Well, let me read you a verse and let's see if I can connect it with our lives a little bit. In chapter 23 and verse 4, it simply begins, "These are the appointed festivals of the Lord, the holy convocations which you shall celebrate at the time appointed for them." Now, if you were to look at your life, I would be willing to bet that you keep a calendar, at least of some kind. And on that calendar, you have important events for you. They might be things like family birthdays. It could be your anniversary if you're married. It could be significant holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Independence Day. And of course, you know that the word holiday has its roots in holy days. That's where it comes from. And part of what's important is, why does God say to the Israelites, you're going to have all these different festivals that you're going to celebrate at different points throughout the year? Well, it's because it's to provide, first of all, a sense of identity for God's people. This is who we are. We engage in these times of, the second thing, remembering who God is and what God has done. And if you think about it, the American holiday of Thanksgiving, well, for many people it's all about turkey and football, which are two things I personally enjoy. But it always bothers me when people refer to Thanksgiving as Turkey Day. It's not Turkey Day. Its roots lie in giving thanks to God. It lies in gratitude. And so having a sacred calendar that God's people follow helps them to be rooted in their identity as God's people. And as Christians, we even have a Christian year that begins in Advent, the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas, where we mark the birth of Christ at the darkest time of the year in the northern hemisphere. We celebrate the light of the world being born, and we move through those seasons then of Epiphany and Lent, and those weeks of self-examination and renewed emphasis on spiritual disciplines, and Holy Week and Palm Sunday, Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter, and then 7 weeks to the season of Pentecost. And so even as Christians, we have a rhythm to our year that helps to remind us of who God is, what God has done, who we are as God's people, and what we're called to do. So when you look at a chapter like Leviticus 23 and you think, what do all these sacred festivals have to do with me? Remember, we also find great value in anchoring our year and the rhythm of our year in who God is and all God has done for us.